Okay, so let's unpack this today because I have to be honest with you right off the bat. I woke up this morning with a very specific, like a very heavy feeling.
Oh, the post-finale hangover.
Yes, exactly. You know that feeling when you finish a really good book or you come back from an amazing vacation and regular life just feels a little bit uh gray.
Yeah.
I have got a severe case of the post-show blues.
It is a very real medical condition, I'm quite sure.
It has to be. Because for the last 8 weeks, we haven't just been watching a TV show. We've been living in this shared cultural moment.
Right.
It felt like the entire internet was tuned into the exact same frequency. It wasn't just about the content itself, it was the vibe. And now that the season 1 finale of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms has aired, specifically episode 6, the silence is kind of deafening.
It really is fascinating when you step back and look at it, because in a world where you are just absolutely bombarded with content.
But constantly.
Right, movies dropping every week, series premiering daily on a dozen different platforms, most things just wash right over us.
They come, they go. You maybe tweet about them once.
Exactly. But this felt entirely different. It managed to create a genuine community.
It felt like the old days.
Yeah.
And our mission for this deep dive today is to figure out why. Like, how did this show, which is arguably much smaller in scale than its predecessors, managed to do the heavy lifting of reuniting a fan base that, let's be honest, was a little fractured.
Very fractured, yeah.
And we also have to talk about those final moments, because just when we thought we knew the map, the show literally, and I do mean literally, rewrote it.
It did. And that's where things get really interesting from a lore perspective. But to your point about the community, I think what this show achieved is arguably miraculous.
Oh, 100%.
It reunited the die-hard veterans of the franchise who maybe felt a bit burned by how previous iterations ended, and it brought in a completely new generation who maybe found the original stuff too dense or too political.
It was the great unifier. You didn't need a PhD in Westerosi lineage to understand a tall guy hitting people with a sword.
Precisely. It stripped away the barrier to entry. The reception has been almost universally positive, which is practically unheard of in this fandom. And I think a huge part of that comes down to the viewing experience itself.
Yeah. Let's talk about that 8-week journey, because I know there are people listening to this deep dive right now who might discover this show in a year and just binge it all in one afternoon.
Sure.
But for us watching it live, the waiting was the best part.
Anticipation is a powerful spice. When you binge something, you consume it. When you wait a week between episodes, you inhabit it.
You do. Waiting a full week between episodes, it let the theories marinate. It
Yeah.
let the memes circulate. But here is where it gets funny. If you are listening to this and you haven't started the show yet or you're planning a rewatch, the experience is going to be totally different.
Completely different. If you look at the structure of the season, these episodes are incredibly tight.
Yeah.
We are talking approximately 30 minutes a pop.
Which is wild for a fantasy epic.
Oh, completely.
We are so conditioned to expect these sprawling 60 or 70-minute sagas.
It is unusual, but if you sit down and binge season 1 now, it won't even feel like a television series. It flows almost seamlessly, like a single cohesive movie. It's essentially a 3-hour feature film that just happened to be sliced into weekly chapters.
I can totally see that. You'll be sitting there hitting next episode, and suddenly the credits roll on the finale, and you're asking, wait, when did these episodes finish?
Because it moves so fast.
Right. It's just so efficient.
And that efficiency is key. It doesn't waste your time. But I want to go back to something you mentioned about the vibe of the episodes, because even though it flows like a movie, distinct chapters had very distinct flavors. It wasn't just one note played for 3 hours.
Oh, absolutely. The rhythm of the season was fantastic. If you look at the early season, episodes 1 and 2, it was totally defined by movement.
It was a road trip.
Yeah, a road trip. It was setting the stage.
Establishing the geography and the stakes. You really felt the dust on the road.
Right. And then you hit the mid-season. Episode 3 has such a specific flavor. We keep calling it the Vinny moments.
The Vinny vibe, yes.
For anyone scratching their heads, it felt character-driven and almost comedic in a specific, grounded way. It felt like a localized drama where the personalities were big and the stakes were intensely personal.
It grounded the characters. It reminded us that these are people, not just chess pieces or fantasy tropes. It felt urban almost. It had that distinct rhythm of dialogue you get in an indie character study rather than a massive, high fantasy epic.
And then, wham! We transition right into the action elements, the
Yeah.
war scenes, the fighting sequences. And I have to shout out one specific moment that I think had everyone cheering at their screens, the entry of the bear.
That was a moment of pure spectacle.
It was. I was genuinely worried, to be honest.
Why is that?
Because a CGI bear on a TV budget, That is a recipe for disaster. It can look like a bad video game cutscene so easily.
Oh, I see what you mean. But it didn't. And this speaks directly to their production strategy. By keeping the episodes shorter and the core cast smaller, they could funnel the budget into specific high-impact moments.
Yeah.
They didn't spread the butter over too much bread.
That is a great analogy. It was that classic Westeros grit mixed with this high fantasy awe. It was the moment the show flexed its budget and basically said, yeah, we're smaller, but we can still throw down.
Which brings us to the finale itself. And this raises a really important question about audience expectations versus reality. We have been so conditioned by premium cable drama to expect the feature-length finale.
Oh, 100%. I sat down with my snacks, fully ready for a 90-minute epic. I thought, okay, this is it. Clear my schedule. Put the phone on silent.
And instead,
it was a tight 30-minute conclusion.
Oh.
I was genuinely surprised when I saw the timestamp. I was like, is that it? Is there a glitch with the app?
But here's the fascinating thing. It worked.
It really did.
It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't bloat the story with unnecessary goodbyes or slow-motion montages. It left the audience on an emotional high. There's a real art to leaving the party while you are still having fun, rather than waiting until the lights turn on and they are sweeping the floor.
That is exactly it. It left us hungry, not stuffed. But, okay, speaking of leaving us hungry, we need to talk about the ending. Because the episode ends on this really heavy, emotional note. Very poignant.
It wraps up the immediate arc beautifully.
Right. But then the credits roll. And usually I'm reaching for the remote, maybe checking my phone. But then we get the scene, the post-credit scene, that absolutely changed everything.
This is where we need to connect this to the bigger picture, because I don't think casual viewers realize just how massive this reveal is.
Well, the title card drops. And it doesn't say a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It says a Knight of the Nine Kingdoms.
Which is a seismic shift in the lore.
My jaw hit the floor. I mean, we have spent years, decades, really obsessing over the Seven Kingdoms. It's in the name of the franchise. And suddenly the show says, actually, there are two more.
It completely expands the scope of the world. We assumed the boundaries were set. We thought we knew the edges of the map.
Exactly.
This reveal suggests that the history we have been told, the political boundaries we just accept as fact, are incomplete.
It feels like finding a secret room in a house you've lived in for 20 years. You think you know the floor plan, and then suddenly, oh, what's behind this bookcase?
Precisely. And it serves a vital narrative purpose, too. It signals that the journey isn't just a vertical climb up the social ladder of Westeros. It's not just about becoming a lord or a king. It's a horizontal expansion into new territories, new cultures, new dangers.
And leading us into that danger is, of course, Egg, or Aegon Targaryen.
Yeah.
But it feels so weird to call him that.
He will always be Egg to us.
He's just Egg. The affection for that character is off the charts. But this finale really showed a different side of him. We usually see him as the innocent kid, right? The moral compass.
But think about the plot twist regarding his departure.
Oh, it was brilliant. He didn't just run away. He outsmarted his father.
He fooled his own father to leave. That shows a level of cunning and agency that we haven't quite seen before. It reminds you that he is a Targaryen.
He has that fire.
Exactly, that fire, that wit. He isn't just a passive participant in Dunk's journey anymore.
It changes the dynamic between him and Dunk completely. It's not just a knight and his hapless squire anymore. It's partners. They're setting off on this tale together.
And that's the key word, tale. The show is positioning this not as a dry history lesson, but as a living, breathing adventure. They are going on a road trip through an expanded map, the Nine Kingdoms. It opens up infinite storytelling possibilities.
Speaking of infinite possibilities, here is where it gets really interesting regarding the future of the franchise. Because the rumor mill is spinning so fast it might take off.
What are you hearing out there?
Okay, take this with a grain of salt, maybe a whole shaker of salt, but there are whispers. Whispers of up to 15 seasons being planned.
15?
15. 15 seasons. That sounds hyperbolic, right? It's more than supernatural. That's Grey's Anatomy territory.
That is incredibly ambitious. But if you think about it, if we look at the format, this Adventure of the Week style, shorter episodes, lower production overhead compared to the massive dragon battles of the main show, it is actually feasible.
It is basically the Doctor Who of Westeros.
Exactly. You have a duo traveling from place to place, solving problems, meeting new people. You don't need a cast of 40 regulars on massive salaries. You don't need to build a new castle set every week.
That makes a lot of sense.
It suggests a massive vote of confidence in the source material and the chemistry of the leads. They aren't trying to race to a conclusion. They want to actually live in this world.
I am all for it. Give me 15 years of Dunk and Egg. I will watch every minute.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to reality for a second. We have to deal with the timeline.
The dreaded hiatus.
Yeah. So we know season 2 is currently shooting. That is the good news. Cameras are rolling.
Right. And post-production on a show like this, even with shorter episodes, is heavy. Visual effects take time. The schedule has post-production slated for roughly August or September of this year.
So doing the math, if they wrap post in late 2026...
Realistic expectation. We are looking at a release in 2027.
Oof, 2027. That hurts to say out loud. That feels like the distant future.
It does require some patience, but nature abhors a vacuum, and so does HBO.
True. We aren't going to be totally starved. We have a gap filler coming.
We do. We have the return to the high-stakes political maneuvering of the main timeline, House of the Dragon Season 3.
Which is expected to arrive in June, so just a few months from now.
Which is perfect timing. It bridges the gap perfectly. It gives us that Game of Thrones vibe, the dragons, the betrayal, the massive budget, while we wait for the more intimate adventures of Dunk and Egg to return.
It's a balanced diet. You get the heavy, rich meal of House of the Dragon, and then you get the fun, adventurous dessert of night.
But I have a question for you, and for you listening at home. With this long wait until 2027, to read or not to read?
The eternal question.
Because the stories are out there. We could know what happens next.
Yeah.
But I was listening to some fans discussing this, and there's a strong strategy emerging of not reading the books.
You know, I usually tend to be the read everything immediately person. I love having all the context, but I tend to agree with the stay blind strategy in this specific case.
Really? That surprises me. Why the flip-flop? Think about the Nine Kingdoms reveal we just discussed. If you had read the encyclopedias and the novellas inside out, you might have been analyzing the accuracy rather than feeling the shock. You'd be sitting there thinking, wait, that's not canon? Instead of, wow, the world just got bigger.
That is a great point. The surprise is worth more than the prior knowledge.
Exactly. Watching the show fresh allows the twist to land with maximum impact. It allows the showrunners to subvert expectations without you getting angry that they changed page 45. It's better to wait and let the show deliver those shocks organically.
I think I'm with you. I want to be surprised. I want to be sitting there in 2027 screaming at my TV because I didn't see it coming.
It preserves the magic.
So looking back, we had a nearly perfect debut season. It totally defied expectations on runtime, proving you don't need 90 minutes to tell a great story. It expanded the lore map in a way that literally changes the name of the franchise.
And it proved that character-driven stories focused on just two people and a mule can hit just as hard as the massive epics with armies of thousands. It's a real lesson in storytelling efficiency and heart.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's been a blast unpacking this with you today. I'm already counting down the days to June for House of the Dragon and then the long road to 2027.
It will be here before we know it.
We can hope. Before we go, though, I want to leave you, the listener, with something to think about.
Yes, I want you to consider the implications of that final title card. If the show has revealed that there are suddenly 9 kingdoms instead of 7, and if Egg is leading us into this unknown territory, what other fundamental facts about this history are actually lies we have just accepted?
I like that.
The map has literally changed. History is written by the victors, but now we are watching it happen in real time. If the geography is a lie, is the genealogy a lie? Is the history of the dragons a lie? What else have they been hiding from us?
That is going to keep me up at night. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Go rewatch the season, look for the clues we missed, and we will catch you in the next one.
Take care.